Airlines already know exactly how cold the cabin should be before a single passenger boards the aircraft. That temperature isn't chosen randomly or for comfort. It comes from a calculation based on risk. A risk that becomes very real when hundreds of people are sealed inside a metal tube at 35,000 feet. Think about the last time you flew. Within minutes, you probably noticed the same thing everyone notices. The cabin feels cold. Not freezing, but uncomfortable enough that people reach for the airline blanket.
Why is it so cold in here? How do I turn this thing off?
Passengers pull sleeves over their hands, adjust the tiny air vents above them, and quietly wonder why. After all, airplanes have powerful environmental control systems capable of heating the cabin easily. Modern aircraft regulate temperature very precisely, so making the cabin warmer would be extremely simple. If airlines wanted every passenger perfectly comfortable, they could do it without difficulty. So why don't they simply warm the cabin?
Why do they keep it so cold in here?
Because the temperature inside an airplane isn't chosen for comfort. It's chosen to prevent medical emergencies. Airlines discovered something unsettling during long flights. Passengers faint far more often than expected. Every year, thousands of commercial flights report in-flight medical incidents involving passengers losing consciousness.
Sir, are you okay?
One of the most common causes of these emergencies is sudden fainting during cruise altitude. And the reason begins with something most passengers never think about: cabin altitude. Even though airplanes are pressurized, the air inside the cabin isn't the same as ground level. Most aircraft cabins simulate an altitude between 6,000 and 8,000 feet above sea level. That's roughly the same as standing high in the mountains. At that altitude, the air contains less oxygen than what your body normally breathes. The difference seems small, but your body immediately begins adjusting to compensate. Your breathing becomes slightly deeper and your heart rate increases to circulate oxygen more efficiently. At the same time, your circulatory system makes another adjustment that many people don't realize. Your blood vessels begin to widen so oxygen can travel through the body more effectively. That adaptation helps oxygen move through your system, but it also creates a hidden side effect. When blood vessels widen, blood pressure naturally begins to drop. Usually that change is small enough that passengers barely notice anything unusual. But under the wrong conditions, that drop in blood pressure can become dangerous. If pressure falls too quickly, the brain receives less oxygen for a brief moment. The result is a fainting episode known medically as vasovagal syncope. In simple terms, someone suddenly collapses. Now here's the critical detail airlines discovered. Warm environments make fainting far more likely. Heat causes blood vessels to expand even further, which pushes blood pressure lower. Inside a warm airplane cabin, that effect can quickly push passengers toward fainting. A person begins feeling dizzy, their vision narrows, and suddenly they lose consciousness. Cabin crew rush in, passengers become alarmed, and the situation escalates immediately. If a passenger appears seriously ill, the flight crew may have to consider diverting the aircraft. A diversion means abandoning the planned route and landing at the nearest suitable airport. Air traffic control must clear a new path while emergency medical teams prepare for arrival.
Center, this is flight AY452. We have a medical emergency on board. Request immediate diversion.
Passengers miss connections, schedules collapse, and airline operations are suddenly disrupted. And the financial cost of a diversion can be enormous. Depending on the aircraft en route, a single emergency diversion can exceed $200,000. Because of this risk, airlines began studying in-flight medical incidents very carefully. Medical researchers analyzed thousands of reports looking for patterns that might reduce emergencies. One factor appeared repeatedly in the data: cabin temperature. Cooler cabins significantly reduced the number of fainting incidents. Cold air causes blood vessels to tighten slightly, which stabilizes blood pressure even at altitude. That small physiological change dramatically lowers the chance that passengers will faint. It stabilizes blood pressure, slows dehydration, and reduces the chance of a costly in-flight medical emergency. So airlines adopted a quiet solution: keep the cabin slightly cooler than people expect. So today, most aircraft cabins remain around 72 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit during cruise. The next time you step onto a plane and feel that familiar chill, it's not poor temperature control. It's the result of a carefully engineered decision designed to keep everyone safe at 35,000 feet. This is Fact Factory. We break down the hidden logic behind everyday things. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more facts hiding in plain sight.